Okay, so let's take a look at how we can use Inspector to change some of the visual attributes of our page. So let's add a couple of blocks here, some regular navigation, maybe some footer. And let's add something bigger, maybe some hero section. Although I would go to Inspector right away to disable the top and bottom areas of this block. You can also change the padding here. And we don't have any images, so I cannot add the background for now, but we can, for example, set some background color. Let's do just that. And as you can see, I have added the global swatch color, so I can rename this to black, for example, so I can reuse it on other parts of our website. Let's add some icons, maybe some future column icons. And again, when we select some element, for example, icon in this case, as you can see, we can change the frames, we can change the size, some style attributes. Of course, we can add the color, change the margin and padding, and this goes for every element. We can select the column, for example, and using the quick edit tool, duplicate it. We can select the ones which aren't styled yet, and we can remove them either this trash icon or using the quick edit tool. For example, we can change the icons, obviously. We can maybe choose a few others. So for the third one as well, let's change it to something different. This bag, for example. For this one, let's leave it like it is. So let's maybe use our fingers to zoom in a little bit. And from here, we can obviously see it much better. Let's add some other color, for example, red. And I will rename this to red. And we can switch between the colors easily using the inspector. Well, we can add the interactions, change the scroll effects, we can change the animation if we want, add some custom attributes and more. I think that I want to add something else. To do that, I will use brick bar to add this button. And again, to style a button, all we need to do is to open the inspector. And we can add a color to this button. We can change the corner radius. We can adjust the size if you want. We can enable the icon, change the color for this icon. So let's add a new white color here, change the margin for this icon. And that's all cool. As you can see, we're only tapping on some buttons here. But for example, the hover effect is not working here. And to fix this, of course, we will have to use classes. And that is the topic for the next video. For now, let me show you what else you can do here. For example, you can change the style for the button to have some shadow like that. You can, for example, again, we can adjust the padding here a little bit, maybe margin a little bit. And in addition to that, if we select the whole block, we also have some options. For example, these edge dividers. We can enable some cool looking graphics like slant here. And we can click on this next one, change the color, and maybe add another edge divider to the bottom of this block. So let's add another one. And we can, I think we can switch the orientation. We can flip it horizontally or vertically. We can switch the color to red to match the color of the next block. I think it will be good to adjust the padding to make it a little bit bigger, maybe 150 pixels or maybe even 200. And of course, we can switch between breakpoints here and make changes to other breakpoints. So let's make the padding a little bit bigger here as well, 150 for example. And of course, all of the changes we make to the smaller breakpoints will be applied to the bigger ones unless we set a specific value for the bigger breakpoint as well. So for the smallest one, if we set it to something like 100, or actually let's go to the SM breakpoint first. And I think for this one, actually 150 will be good. And I think we can also adjust the column width and offset settings to make sure that we have two columns of icons here instead of just one column. And because we're doing this for the SM breakpoint, now if we will later go to the MD breakpoint, you can see that it follows the same style. And for this one, of course, we had already 4 column design, so we don't see any changes here. So I think that this is cool. And of course, we can select any other element and continue to apply these small adjustments. For example, for the text, we can use these plus and minus buttons. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it better. As you can see, we have this drag handle on the left side of the text, and if we drag it up, it will increase the size of this text. Down will decrease it, obviously. And we can do that for all text we have on our canvas. Same for the buttons. We can drag these small circles to change the size, to change the radius, to manually create the button design you like. And at this moment, of course, it will create the class for us automatically. This is the freehand class, and this is something we will cover in the later videos in this course. And if you select this device brick, you can also go to the inspector to change the type of the device. For now, there are a bunch of iPads, iPhones here. We can change it to, let's change it to something bigger, for example, iMac Pro. And if we select this device and using the layer tree, we need to select the column, we can drag it to the right to increase the size of this column. We can do the same to decrease the size for this text and so on. And that's all cool, but of course in the next video, let's take a look at how we can move further these classes.